righty, we are back again to talk a little NCAA
March Madness
basketball. We're going to do a little recap. First of all, we're going to do a little recap of the Sweet 16, a little recap of the Elite Eight, and then we'll do our predictions for the Final Four. Maybe even the national championship game. You want to go ahead and predict that maybe too?
Sure.
I might be able to do that too again. But first of all, we'll do a little recap of the Sweet 16, bittersweet as it was.
Bittersweet lies.
First of all, Tennessee fell short.
Well, another
99 to 94. They actually got ripped off. I ain't gonna say too much, but that was not a foul. That
so
foul on the three-pointer was not a foul. It was not a foul.
Hold on. Before you go on a rant, Purdue, Tennessee is the first game on our hit list.
Yeah, first game on our hit list is Purdue, Tennessee.
And
Purdue won 99 to 94. Congratulations to Purdue, but boo to the rest.
Well, you gotta admit, Carson Edwards. We saw him play. He's a lethal scorer.
His was the most impressive performance of one person in the entire tournament of anybody.
Matt Painter's squad. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the head coach of Purdue, Matt Painter. This is the first time in a while I think he's ever the first time ever I think he's guided Purdue to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, but it would have been really nice to see Tennessee go on like they should have, because that really wasn't a foul. But hey, Tennessee still got a good squad and got some good people coming in, and we love our boys. We love Admiral, love Kyle Alexander, and all the other boys. That was our two senior starters. So we love them, and we'll go on. Next game, Florida State at the Zags.
Well, Florida State.
I really thought Florida State would flex on that. I really thought they would.
But unfortunate circumstances outside of their control.
Yeah, one of their best players, his father passed away, and he was missing for the game. And then another player got hurt really early in the game, and that took him out. And then it just wasn't Florida State's time. But Gonzaga was 72 to 58.
Pulled through at the end.
14 points that time. That was really good.
Mark Few's Gonzaga Bulldogs. They're
out.
Always contending every year, pretty much.
Yeah, and then we had what I think was my shocker of the weekend was Texas Tech hammering Michigan. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Brutal.
63 to 44, and it was worse than that. 19 points, and it was worse than that. I really thought Michigan...
Oh, Michigan. I thought they would do better than that.
I thought they would too, but man,
I didn't think they would just get blown out of the water by Texas Tech.
No, not Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech has proven to be quite an impressive team. We won't get into the round of 8 yet, but they turned out to be a pretty good team there.
And it only took Chris Beard 3 years to build a great team in Texas Tech.
We're going to the Thursday games first of all. By the way, the last one on Thursday was Oregon, Virginia,
which was really close.
I thought Oregon would be the Cinderella and maybe pull that one through, but turns out there are no Cinderellas this weekend. At least not any double-digit Cinderellas. So far, yeah. And then Virginia won 53 to 49, pulled it out late there at the end. So.
And Virginia, well, once again, a very, very solid
team, yeah.
Once again, coached by an up-and-coming, probably Roy Williams and Tony Bennett.
Yeah, Tony Bennett. And there's rumors of him flying around, maybe not being at Virginia next year. So, I mean, if that doesn't happen, then I hope they do good this year. It would have been nice to see them do good. The Friday games, the first Friday game we had was Michigan State. The Michigan State
Spartans.
The Michigan State Izzos.
Michigan State Izzos.
Playing LSU.
Without a coach.
Without a coach. A good solid team, but they
don't have any head. No. They don't have. It's like a body without a head.
Yeah,
what are you
80 to 63 they lost. It wasn't really close. Michigan State had a hold on that one.
Yeah, they had a stranglehold of that Bayou Tigers from the start. Well, Tom Izzo once again proving that he is up top as one of the top coaches in college basketball.
Yep. He is definitely an elite coach. He is, because he's consistent. If you consistently have good teams, then it ain't the players.
He's taken the Spartans to the tournament for the last 20-plus seasons.
Yeah.
To put that into perspective.
So, I do respect me some Tom Izzo, yeah. Then we had, again, this might be tied for the biggest shocker, but Auburn
absolutely
spanked
Kansas.
The Tar Heels. No, the Tar Heels.
Oh, the Tar Heels.
They spanked Kansas first, but then they did it to North Carolina.
They blew them out of the water in the second half.
97-80.
Once again, Auburn's speed and three-point shooting.
Speed and three-pointers. Deadly. They just deadly, man.
Completely. I think Auburn just.
It makes me not feel as bad losing to them in the SEC championship game whenever they're hammering everybody that they're touching ever since.
Proof that three-point shooting and some solid defense and a really, really fast pace can win games.
And then we had another right down to the wire, maybe a little controversial game, Vatek Duke. Duke pulled out by
another
dose.
Yeah. Late missed at the bucket tip shot.
Tip shot, yeah, yep.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Now Zion, my goodness, he is good, ain't he?
He is an athletic monster.
He is a specimen. He's going to be something to watch in the NBA next year. He's going to be fun to watch.
As long as he goes to the right team. We don't need any other NBA team screwing up his athleticism or his development.
Oh, since the Pelicans are going to lose Anthony Davis, maybe they can get Zion. Replace one big awesome guy with another big awesome guy and do absolutely nothing with them.
Do absolutely nothing.
Hey, let's not get into the NBA, though. The last game out of the Sweet 16 was the Houston.
And facing Kentucky.
That was a really good game.
Which was a really good game. They both had logo counterparts.
Yeah, their logos look almost exactly the same.
Except they're
blue,
different colors.
Red, yeah. Houston had a really good chance to pull it out at the end, but they just couldn't hit the shots at the end.
They couldn't hit the shots.
Kentucky hit the shots. Houston couldn't.
And that's what put the bottle cap on top of that.
Yeah.
And Houston, you had a great season, and they're looking to lock up their head coach for a long time here at Houston, Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah.
And looking to have a stranglehold on the American Conference for years to come.
And they were honestly a really good team. I thought they might even slip into the Elite Eight. I really thought they did. But that was a good. But congrats to them. They played a great tourney. And then now we'll go ahead and jump into the Elite Eight.
Here's where things get interesting.
The two Saturday games were Texas Tech, Gonzaga.
And Texas Tech. How about the Red Raiders?
They proved they're not a fluke, man.
Well, they beat
the number one Gonzaga 75-69.
Just a week, or maybe just like a couple of days after they beat Michigan by almost 20.
Honestly, Texas, they've got the best defense. If defense wins championships, it's supposed to be football when defense wins championships. But if defense wins championships, Texas Tech might take it all because they've got the best D.
And let's just congratulate the Red Raiders for making their first ever Final Four.
Yeah.
In school history.
I had a little soft heart for the Gonzagas because they've never won it.
And Texas Tech has never even been there.
Texas Tech never even been there either. So you gotta give it up to them.
Well, Chris Beard has taken Texas Tech in 3 seasons, 2 Elite Eight appearances, and 1 Final Four appearance.
Yep.
That's quite a start.
Yeah, and then the second game we had on Saturday was those Purdue Boilermakers that should have been Tennessee Vols, the one-man team.
That's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
you're okay.
Calm down.
You're okay.
Purdue, Virginia.
Well,
look, that Purdue lost by 5 in overtime. Doesn't that suck?
Oh yeah, it does suck.
Since Tennessee lost by 5 in overtime to Purdue, that shouldn't have happened. But hey, and 5 points in overtime, poetic maybe.
But Carson Edwards put up 40 plus.
That was a terrific game. That was probably my favorite game to watch, maybe out of anyone they see. Edwards was
fantastic.
The best. He put on the best performance in the tourney
He hit tough shots. Yeah. He hit past the 3-point line.
He hit them. He drove to the buggy and he did everything. And they had Virginia beat. And the last second miracle, they tied it up and got to overtime and then just won in overtime. That was a very enjoyable, good game to watch.
But it was obvious to everyone in overtime who the better team actually was.
Yeah. If Edwards hadn't been there, they'd lost by 40. But, I mean, that's how good that boy is. That boy is going to be in the NBA. He's going to be fun to watch, too.
Oh, yes. But congratulations to Virginia. First Final Four since 1984.
Yep. And we'll jump on into Sunday's games. This was probably the shocker of the Elite Eight. Auburn beat Kentucky in overtime, 77-71.
Avenging their last 2 losses in the regular season.
And if I'm not mistaken, Kentucky beat Auburn by 30.
Their last matchup. Which kind of spelled a little bit of payback right there.
Yeah, that just tells you what kind of hot streak Auburn is on right now.
Give them a little give them a little taste of what level they're playing on right now.
The last team I've seen to do this kind of hot streak was UConn.
That's been a while ago.
Do you remember when Kimba was with them?
That team was ridiculous.
They were a 5 seed, if I'm not mistaken, that year too, and they went on a hot streak, won their tourney, went into the NCAA, swept everybody, and won the national championship with a 10-loss team. I think it was 10-loss team, and mowed everybody down when they wasn't that good of a team up until they got into their tourney.
So you're saying Auburn has the potential
To win the Natty.
to win the national championship?
Yeah, I think they do. Just because of this streak. Now, they live on speed and three-point shooting. So if they have a cold night three-point shooting, they'll lose by 20 points.
Yes.
But right now,
they've
they're
learned-
hitting every single shot they throw up.
It doesn't matter how good a defense you play on them; they're just gonna hit shots.
Oh, there's 5 people that'll. I mean, they're
got 5
They're
people
gonna
on
hit
the court.
15 plus threes a game. And if a team hits 15 to 20 threes a game,
What are you gonna do about that?
I mean, Tennessee almost beat Purdue with them hitting 16 threes. And that took everything the former number 1 team had to almost beat them hitting 16 threes.
But
Auburn hits 12 to 15 just like
every single
game.
game.
I mean, it ain't like a special something.
I mean, they beat
crazy.
New Mexico State, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky to get
That
here.
was after they beat Tennessee in the SEC and the SEC championship game.
That's just unheard of.
I mean,
to
they're
beat-
on that's what kind of level of hot streak they're on right now. They have the potential to mow everybody down from here. It doesn't matter who it is.
They've also learned to control the pace. I mean, if you play into their hands, you're pretty much
doomed.
You're doomed.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this falls
Could
out.
Bruce Pearl finally break out and win a national championship?
It just depends. If they get nervous and have a cold shooting game, then they're done.
But I do think that
This will tell the tale. The Final Four game will tell the tale if they've got the nerve for it or not, or if they, sometimes teams will get hot, and they get nervous and they get good, and then they pop, and then they get nervous and their mo's gone, and once your mo's gone, you're done. So if they go into the next game and they're cold the first half and only hit 2 threes or something, can they pull out of that? And can
well, they
go
do
into
have the
second
senior
half?
leadership,
So
and that senior leadership carried them to a
they
win.
lost, and that win against Kentucky was without
without Okiki,
who tore his ACL.
one of their better players was out, and they still beat
Tore his
Kentucky.
ACL, still beat Kentucky. Well, let's not gush too much. The last of the Elite Eight was a spectacular game too, man. This was such a fun game. I'm not a super fan of either one of these teams, but respect. Probably 2 of the top 10 coaches in the country.
Coach K
Coach K versus Izzo.
versus his.
All you have to do is Coach K versus Izzo. I mean, when you
You're
know
gonna
them,
you're gonna bring in some viewers.
when you know them by the initials or last names, that's how good of coaches they are. Man, 68-67, Michigan State held on at the end.
Do you know what? Do you know what,
Barrett missed.
Oh, I think it was 0 of 9 in the last stretch
But
of the court. Last stretch.
He
of the
was
half.
he was fouled though. Had 2 shots to tie it up and missed the first one and accidentally hit the second one, which was it was just it was that close to going into overtime. It was a beautiful game. It was.
Do you want me to tell you the difference between a championship team and a very successul team? Sure, Duke may actually have the star talent. They may actually have some of the better players in the entire country. Sure, they may have the best coach in the country. But a few things need to happen in order to actually make a championship team.
If you've noticed, a lot of these young teams, young freshmen, young star teams,
They don't have the
leadership.
They also don't have the 3-point shooting. They're one of the
No.
worst teams in the country.
Yeah, Coach K did not have the 3-point shooting this game. He had the inside presence.
Of Zion Williamson always being in there. And Michigan State did a just near as good of a job as
He
you
still
could
got
do.
a double-double, but he didn't crush them, so.
Michigan State did nearly as perfect a good enough a job to keep him from touching the ball and forcing it out and onto the perimeter.
All you have to do is just give yourself a chance to win against teams like that, and then you can pull one out. And that's what Michigan State did.
And Duke didn't have much bench scoring either. They mostly relied on their stars down late, and that's what killed them in the end.
And I hadn't noticed, but in all of the games that they had played, inside the last minute, Barrett had took like 9 out of the 15 shots, and Zion took one.
Shot.
So at the end of the games, they weren't depending on Zion to win the games for them. They were
even though he's the best player on the team.
Me, I would have threw the ball into him and let him grind it or get fouled, but not probably 75% of the time they were depending on Barrett to create that offense, and it just didn't happen. So.
And Michigan State. Tom Izzo once again has a chance to win a national championship for the second time in his career.
Let's go ahead and jump in and do a little predictions on that Final Four. Saturday, April the 6th, we will have Auburn, Virginia.
Which will be very, very interesting.
It'll be a very interesting game.
Virginia plays really, really slow. Auburn plays 150 miles per hour. So it will be.
Who do you think is going to take that one?
I hope I don't get bit in the tail end for this pick, but I pick Virginia.
I pick Virginia too. I think Virginia with I think they've been there, done that mentality. I think they got a better defense. I think they might slow down Auburn. They're not going to slow down Auburn, but I think they'll slow it down, and I think they win that game. So we've got Virginia. The second game, we've got Texas Tech versus Michigan State.
I think Texas Tech's run will be short-lived in the Final Four.
Me too. I've got Michigan State winning that. So
Michigan State's a great overall team.
Yeah. So we've got the Natty title game with Michigan State, Virginia, and that will be on Monday. Who do you have as the national champion?
This is going to be a tough one. Because, well, Virginia relies on their defense. And if their defense fails, Virginia fails.
But they've got really good 3-point shooters too, though. So, and Michigan State, I mean,
they're just a great team all around.
They're just a good rounded team. We probably have to lean toward Michigan State, probably.
In terms we predict Tom Izzo to win.
Tom Izzo gets his
second.
Yeah, now they haven't won one since the year
2000.
So it's been 19 years since Izzo. So it'd be good to see Izzo win another one again.
So
we have the 2018-19 NCAA national champion is
Michigan State Spartans.
Michigan State Spartans.
So, fun fact: before we get into the closing, 3 of the 4 participants in the Final Four have never won a championship.
Never.
Neither Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, or Kansas made it.
No, the only one that's won a title before is
Michigan State.
Virginia's not won one. Texas Tech's not won one. Auburn's not won one. Texas Tech and Auburn never even been in a Final Four before. Has Virginia been in the Final Four?
The last time they've been there is 1984.
That's what I talk about. So
it's
really refreshing seeing this. And Michigan State winning it. I mean, they've got a blue blood program. I think they've got a high pro, but it's because of Izzo.
It's because of Izzo.
Because I think he's such an awesome coach. But they haven't won in 19 years, so either one of these 4 teams winning is
it would not bug me
It's a
at
breath
all.
of fresh air.
This is what we need in basketball.
That's what we need
this is what we need.
Yeah, that's what we need. So that's it. That is the end of NCAA. We'll go back and probably do a little quick recap when all this is over, just
see if our predictions
came wrong. Because I think we went like 4-4 last on the
first day, and then
struck
out.
We struck out all 4. But anyways, it's fun. Be sure and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, let us know who you think the
hit the groovy baby button.
Hit the groovy baby button. Other
Somewhere
than that,
on my head.
we are gone.
See you next week.